This is for a 2000 Celica GT-S with the built-in amplifier. It's all original equipment. So the door comes off pretty much 4 screws, one underneath the arm and one under there, and then also one in behind there, and it should come off pretty easily. We have the picture of the inside of the door, and basically this is just going to be a pretty easy install of the DXI 6501. In the Polk, we have a connector box. This is going to separate the input from the tweeter and the woofer. We have a tweeter holder, a cover, which we're not going to need, I don't think, and then the speaker itself. Okay, so here's the original. This is actually the driver's side speaker. First thing we're going to do is, it's going to sound silly, but I'm just going to cut these right off. Now, before you do this, obviously you're going to have to figure out how you're going to wire it up. But I know how I'm going to wire it up, so I've already made the decision to not use this or the connector that's in the car. I'm going to dispose of these, and on the new speakers I'm just going to connect them up directly. Still be able to take them out, but there'll be a definite connection. I'm not going to cut them too close because I want to be able to see the coloring here so that I can connect them up to the right one. But that's this one. The top. This speaker is actually shot, which is part of the reason why. So that can go in the trash. And this is the housing. Okay, the reason we bought the Polks is that if you take this part out of your car first, take it into Best Buy or wherever you're going to buy your speakers from, you're going to see that if I sit that down here, I can still actually connect to these mounting screws when I put this housing back over the top, and I'm still going to actually have enough space in here. So the downside, or the reality, is that we're going to cut this back. I'm going to cut it, we're going to use a Dremel, and I'm just going to cut this far down, down to these plastic structural things, but I'm going to leave this piece here standing upright. So okay, so I made the first attempt, the first cut. It's right above this ridge, goes around. I also came in from this side and cut in here, but I obviously don't want to cut any further than here. I've cut down the sides of these. Once this comes out, I might have to cut this one a little bit deeper, but basically about ready to cut this out. I've come up here a little bit high, and I've also cut it from this side. Understand, of course, it's cutting it's melting as much as it's cutting, so be careful. Wearing eye protection, probably should have something on my hands, but it is what it is. Okay, so I cut it down, a little bit of sanding just to take the rough edges off, and this is what we're left with. So these are still there, these recesses for the screws, cut into here slightly, took a notch, bad angle, took a notch out of here. This is going to be for the bottom main speaker wires coming through. You can't run them around the back because this goes flush up against the door. So you're going to have to make a notch or do something, drill a hole or whatever. But taking a look at this, one of my sides, I think it's this one, is slightly tall. But it's going to fit right down in there. Okay, I think I'm finished with the mods on that. I'm just going to put the foam gasket in, drop this down. I'm not going to, this is just a dry fit so far, but I'm going to hook this in here and we're going to just set that off to the side and bring through the top piece. I've taken the 3 screws out. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to keep this part for later. And here we have the inside of the speaker. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut with the Dremel right across here. There's 4 of them, and also the one with the connectors on it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those off and we'll go from there. So here's the cuts have been made, all 5 of them basically it ends up being, and you're just going to pull it out and trash the speaker. And then the next step is to, probably with a pair of pliers, take this foam piece right off the top. And just basically come around and take anything that's not metal off of this piece. And he's Louise. Yeah. Basically, you're going to get left with this. I'm going to come back in and tighten this, tidy this up, and take the next step. Okay, so just clean that up ever so slightly. I have the tweeter here, and I'm not going to use this to replace the door tweeter. I'm just going to add this one in right into this housing. So I've put this on, I actually think it's on backwards, but that's the way I put it on. And what I'm going to do is, you're going to realize that this goes through here, this thing goes on, but it's going to be a bit loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some foam tape, tape around this, and give these connectors something to grip on, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now this is the new tweeter, and on the back I've done 2 of them, but basically what I'm doing is I'm coming in here with a pair of pliers and bending this in so that it's catching with a little bit more force. Wasn't quite sure how to glue these in. Anyone comes up with a better idea, would love to know it. And basically it's going to be that simple. And here it is. It's the finished version. It's cut down. It has the new system. Wires just need to be hooked up, and what we'll end up doing, I'm going to just rivet these back in, but I guess you could use nuts and bolts if you wanted to, but your choice. And these are 3/16 of an inch, 5mm, 1/2 inch long rivets, and basically I'm going to put them through here, 3 on each side, and rivet the housing back onto the door.